Well, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today. A very warm welcome to you all. It's a wonderful evening, and it's wonderful to see such an enthusiastic crowd over here. SuperHack 2025 is a global agentic AI hackathon designed to tackle real-world challenges that IT teams face daily. So today we have gathered here to discuss more and little bit more on about the inside the world of MSP and IT problems worth solving, being the title of this session. So whether you're building tools for automation, optimizing workflows, or solving complex system issues, this is your chance to innovate and connect with like-minded developers. Let's explore how AI can transform the everyday life. Well, little bit on today's session agenda. We'll explore key personas, everyday challenges, and hackathon themes designed to address them. So ask questions and join the conversation on building the future of IT. Moving on with our speakers for today, before we begin, let's welcome our moderator for today's session, Sriram Prasad. Sriram is a product marketing manager at SuperOps, where he bridges the gap between technology and user needs with a keen eye for innovation and a passion for solving real world problems. Sriram will guide us through today's discussion. Let's give him a warm round of applause to Sriram. Sriram?
Hi, Rudra. Thank you so much for that intro. So, really glad to be here and really excited to kickstart this session as well. So, looking
Awesome.
forward to it. And you've beautifully set the context for what we're going to be discussing today as well. So, thank you so much for that.
Well, thank you. Please go ahead.
Yes. So, like Rudra was talking about today, we're going to dive deep into the world of MSPs and IT to explore the problem statements. We've seen wonderful ideas put up on the agentic AI community. We are super excited to see what you're building. So, this session is for us to give you more context as to what the domain and the space looks like, so that as you are building, you can ensure that you don't lose the context. You have enough information to see if you are solving for the right problems and so on, because like Rudra mentioned, this is a global hackathon, and when you're building something like passionately, it's easier for you to lose context of the larger problems at hand. And it happens for every domain, right? So if you're a developer, or if you're a product manager, or if you're an engineering head, so having that scope in place really put things into a perspective. So think of this session as a context for all the problems that you're trying to solve on the agents that you're trying to build. So today we have our product managers, who are going to be talking to you about how they think when they're going to ship an AI feature in their respective areas. So they've spent enough time in this domain to understand the key personas, like the people for whom we are solving the problems for. And they've been actively building products and modules within SuperOps that addresses their concerns. So they're going to be sharing their insights into this domain, which is going to be really key and essential for you as you build these AI agents for SuperOps. So that's going to be the agenda for the day. Like Rudra mentioned, my name is Sriram, and I'm a product marketing manager here at SuperOps. So I'm going to be setting initial context as to what SuperOps is, what domain we cater to, and who are our key personas, our target audience as such. And then we'll hear from our product managers based on their areas of expertise, giving you a deep dive into what do the real world of an MSP or an IT team looks like. What are the problems or the challenges that they go through on a daily basis that needs a solution, so that you can fit your AI agents into a certain theme, or it's not too late to pivot. You can change your idea and see if you're solving for the right problems and so on. So that's going to be the agenda for the day. And Rudra, if you could share the presentation, we could get started. Yes. So the first and foremost thing, right? So we are going to be talking about SuperOps as a platform, because SuperOps as a platform is solving a lot of these challenges for MSP and IT teams. As you see, SuperOps is an AI first unified PSA RMM platform that's designed for the modern MSPs and IT teams. I understand we threw in a bunch of terms. We had PSA, RMM, modern MSPs, and IT teams. So if you're somebody who's worried, or who feel that there are slight ambiguity around what these terms actually mean, what does the space look like, am I solving for the right problem, you don't need to worry, you're in the right place. We are going to go word by word. We're going to understand what a PSA is, what an RMM is, what an IT management tool does, and along with the challenges that's there in each of these domains. So SuperOps as a tool solves for the problems for a modern MSP and an IT team here. So one of the things that SuperOps does is it puts together a bunch of tools that these end users need in a single platform. The reason why an MSP or an IT team would use something like a SuperOps is it solves for their day-to-day requirements. Like an IT team is somebody who take care of your technical needs within an organization, whereas an MSP is somebody who you outsource your IT needs to. That's the easiest way to put this out. And SuperHouse provides a platform for them which is AI powered, so that all the features that they need, right from managing their assets like a Windows workstation or a laptop to a printer or a router, and managing their tickets, everything is provided in one single platform that's AI powered. And it really solves their problem, because earlier it used to be a bunch of different tools and silos that they operated in. So that's where SuperOps comes in today. And this whole agentic AI hackathon, or the AI agents are built that we are building, is also going to be addressing similar problems that SuperOps addresses, or because we are again at the end of the day solving problems for MSPs and IT teams in terms of all their operational difficulties that they are facing. So moving on with respect to the difference, right? So just give me one quick second here. Yeah, just to address a bit more on the context, right? Like I said, who are these internal IT teams and who are these managed service providers? Let's start with the internal IT teams. You're in a large organization, like whether you're a professional or a college student, so you would have encountered this. So all the IT needs, like as soon as you join your company, there is an IT team that's working really hard to ensure that you have your laptops, you have your workstations. Let's say you're a designer, you need your Adobe licenses. So there's a team working in the background so that you can go out there and do your job effectively. So an internal IT team is essentially a team that's there within the same company, that's taking care of all the IT needs of the employees, right from ensuring that the printer works. So let's say you are to send an presentation or a purchase order to an important client. So right from ensuring that the printer works really well, and ensuring that the Wi-Fi doesn't drop when you're on an important call, the IT team is the one who's taking care of that for you in your company. So that would be your internal IT teams. And what are managed service providers are MSPs. Like large firms, like large companies offer to have an internal in-house team that can take care of all the IT needs of their employees, whereas companies who are starting up or who are scaling don't have a budget allocated for having somebody in-house. In those cases, what they do is they outsource it to a managed service provider who takes care of IT needs for a bunch of companies. So think of internal IT as somebody who's within the same organization, who's under the payroll of company A, whereas managed service providers are somebody who takes care of IT business for a bunch of companies A, B, and C. So that's the fundamental difference between internal IT teams and managed service providers. And just to give you a bit of background, like where are these problems or challenges stemming from? So you see the IT and the MSP landscape accelerated due to the pandemics. Like for instance, remote work culture has become a norm today, and you have work from home, you have a company headquartered in a particular city but employees operating across the country, and you have scenarios and so on. So the need for these internal IT teams and MSPs to manage the devices around the world has become a necessity, and that's where a tool like SuperOps comes in. And there are a lot of operational challenges and difficulties that comes along with it as well, but these are all challenges that they really like, because for us it's challenges, for them it's opportunities for them to go there and solve for, so that they have a really good business as such. So that's bit of context from my side as to who internal IT teams are and who managed service providers are. So I'm going to call upon the product manager for the IT product first. Like, let's start with the internal IT teams. What does an ideal internal IT team look like? What do they do on a day-to-day basis? So I would like to bring upon Jayant, who's our product manager, who is building modules and tools for the IT teams around the world. So he's going to help us understand who these internal IT teams are, who, like, when we talk about a organization as such, there are different employees under an internal IT team as well. So whose problem are we solving essentially within an internal IT team? And also he's going to share some potential ideas for you to for you to discuss as well. So please stay around, and if you have any questions while Jayant or any of our product managers are explaining something, feel free to drop them on the chat, and we'll see if we can have that addressed. So bringing on Jayant for you guys. Hi Jayant.
Hey, hi, Shriram. Hope I'm audible. Yeah.
Yes, you're good. Yeah.
Hey, great. Hi, everyone. Welcome again. Thank you all for joining us today. Uh, I'm pretty much excited about this live session, which is going to help us in building the future of agents for IT management. So I think Shriram has done a rough idea, full-fledged idea, about what an internal IT team is and MSP is. So before you jump in, right, it's critical to understand the ICP we are building, right? So what are the use case, what are the ideas which you're going to build? So you need to choose upon which segment you're going to pick after. That is whether you're going to solve for internal IT or an MSP. So once you're chosen upon this customer segment, then you can actually dive into the problem statement and use cases. So the job for me here is to start with the internal IT department. So internal IT department, as Srina mentioned, is just again, it looks like you're the corner department who actually do the heavy lifting of all those things. But again, if you see, they are the backbone of all the modern organization itself. So it's a team responsible for managing all the technology per se, that is the overall IT infrastructure itself, and which kind of relies on day-to-day business on the productivity side, from your laptops to network side to business applications, or maybe the cybersecurity part. So the IT department ensures everything is up and running. So so that's on the IT department. So now let me give a quick the persona level. Who are the personas who are involved in this IT department? So if you see, there are three key personas. That is, one is the admin level, that is the C level, who are the CPTO or the IT admin, and the second is the IT technicians, basically the teams who are part of the IT team itself. So it could be as simple as your sysadmin, or it could be your help desk support. So those are the personas who form the IT technician itself. And finally the persona is the end users, that is all the employees of an organization itself, right? So if I think you want to just a quick pretty sure the quick analogy is, I'm sure like majority of them are here is an working professionals here. If you could remember the day you joined the organization, right, the first day of your organization, so you would have been handed out the laptop, and maybe the email id is set up for you. So the moment you get your email id set up, you get your Slack, Zoom running, maybe even it could be your all the MS Office tools up and running. So if you see, then IT department works behind it and handles that. So if you see all these personas, right, roughly all this IT department handles two major areas. If you could see, that is the first slide. If you could see, the first section is the service management part. which roughly has three key things. That is the service desk, the employee portal, and the knowledge base, and the operations part of it. So each every module is itself is a it's a lot of topic to talk about. Let me give a quick glimpse on whatever all these important topics are, right? So
Yeah.
service desk is basically it has all your requests in one place. It kind of assists the employees with day-to-day technical issues. It'll be as simple as resetting your passwords. If you have your system down, you kind of send a mail through email, Slack, and portal. The service desk, what the service desk does it, it's a one place to have your all your ticketing in one place, so that all the tickets are resolved immediately, so that the business up and running. So that's on the service desk part. And the portal is actually an interesting model itself, because it's right now it's becoming a self-serve itself. Imagine right now, if you want a new laptop, or a mouse per se, or maybe a chat gpt request, right? You kind of log into the service portal, and an employee can raise the request for it and track the progress for it. And the third part is the knowledge base, which is basically anything about a self-serve knowledges, right? Whatever you want to, maybe if you want to install a Adobe system or an ERP on-prem software, you might want to have a self-serve, because you need not rely on every time IT teams to do that. So those are all there in the service management part. And if you could roughly move to the IT operation side of it, and that's where the key part is being the asset management. It's all about having tracking and managing all the assets in one single place. That is your hardware, software, the infrastructure, everything, the network, all these things in one place. So the IT teams definitely want to know, who owns it, where it is, and how is it being right, no use being currently in use. So that's on the asset management. And patch. So if you see, Microsoft alone is kind of releases almost like 15 to 20 patches in a month. So you need to have the system updated on the security patches. So the IT team, what they do is, behind the scene, they make sure that the system you're using, the patches are regularly updated. It's not only the OS patches, it's also the software patches regularly being fixed upon. And again, the most important part task being the scripts. So these are basically your automated instructions that IT teams use. It could be your they use the PowerShell and Python script to clear sub caches and resetting printers. So these are scripts being regularly used. So if you
Yeah.
could see, all these are key modules being used in the overall IT per se,
Yeah.
and also the network, and also the project management part.
Just
Yeah.
to take an example here, Jain. So just to put things into perspective, right? Let me paint a picture. So Jain earlier spoke about three personas, which is the employees, a technician who works with the employees, and then upper level management. So just to reiterate this example, right? So most of you are working professionals or engineers who are trying to build these agents for IT teams and MSPs. So if you're somebody who's joining the organization, like when initially technician is somebody who works with you in terms of ensuring that you have everything that you need. And we've always seen this case, right? So let's say when I joined, they give me a Windows workstation, but I kind of want a Mac to be given to me. So when you request for such things, a technician cannot do it instantly. So the technician needs to validate that with an upper management, saying, hey, I have an employee asking me for a Mac, should I give that Mac to him or not? So then the admin or the CEO takes a call on what department or team that you're in. So let's say you are from a design team and you need all of these high-end Macs that can render a bunch of videos. So he is the deciding authority as to say, hey, okay, so this technician can go out and provision this Mac to an end user. So he, like, just to establish the hierarchy, right? So the CIO or like an admin takes care or supervises all the works that a technician does. And the ticketing part is where you raise all of these requests. Like every time you have something that you want, you raise a request with the technician saying, hey, I need a new mouse or I need a new laptop. So all these service requests or things that are operational is taken care on the ticketing or the service desk side of things within the IT organization. Be it any issues that you raise, let's say you want access to a new portal, and you have to request your IT team for access for that. So all of that is taken care on the client facing side within a portal or so on. And like he was talking about the endpoint monitoring or the network monitoring or all the devices that you use in real time. Like the IT team's end goal is to ensure that you don't have any issues. They have network monitoring to sort of see the printer is in. They use network monitoring to monitor all the network devices like a printer, router, firewall, and switch on the network, so that they ensure that the Wi-Fi quality doesn't drop while you're on a client call. And similarly, your asset that you're working on shouldn't be slow as well. It's very frustrating. So endpoint monitoring is something that you use to monitor all of that, so that they don't wait for you to come and complain saying, hey, my laptop has been slow. So they monitor it from behind, so that they can predict things, saying if this is an asset that they've given you 3 or 4 years back, they can see that, hey, I see Jayant is using a really old laptop which might die anytime, so I need to change the hardware or the RAM for that particular asset. So these are some of the things that they do as well. I understand Jayant spoke about patch management, alert management, and so on. So if you do not know the depth for it, so don't worry, we have an RMM session coming up by Ani, who is going to explain these concepts in detail as well. So I hope that gave you a good overview as such. So yes, Jayant, I think we've established, who these folks are. Let's talk about the problems. Like let's talk about their pain points, and like what are some things that they can potentially create today that will solve a lot of their problems.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks. Thanks for reiterating that. It's a good example that right now, if you could see the internet, which it's sometimes there is a fluctuation which is happening, right? There's an IT team who's behind it, who makes this an entire session going live. So that's just want to bring that out. Yeah. So maybe if you could bring up the next slide, so we can think about talk about the themes. So overall, if you see the overarching themes, there are there are three themes again. The one is the number one being the operation efficiency side. So as I brought you as earlier, I mentioned that on the asset management part, right? So it could be your asset life cycle. So I mean, these are like use cases. Let me start with the actual use cases, and after that let me start with the problem, and based on that give some share some ideas on how we can build as an agent for that. So asset lifecycle, it's pretty straightforward, right? From it could be simple as a laptop which enters into a system ecosystem, right? And the time it kind of gets discarded from the system, from organization. So entire life cycle of it, it's actually the asset life cycle. So you take every asset of it not only for hardware, it also be for the software side as well. So what if you are able to, so this is the existing use case, so you need to track everything manually right now in spreadsheet. That's what an IT team does. So they do have a system of record in a tool as well. So the problem statement is that every time you need to manually do that. Okay, now the use case, the one problem is being is that, for example, if there are repetitive tickets being raised from a specific laptop, right, or a workstation, and a technician always sees that, okay, yes, employee keeps reporting about this issue, even though you can kind of go and fix that up. So what kind of issues again and again coming up? So do we need to discard this laptop, or do we need to have a permanent fix around this laptop, right? So that's one problem statement. That's actually always a actually always a decision point for a technician to decide whether to have the laptop, or to change or upgrade it. So that is on the asset lifecycle part. That is one nuanced use case around that. And just jumping on the subscription part, right? For example, in an organization, let's assume it's as simple as that everyone has definitely have Slack or Zoom licenses. You see employees onboarding and offboarding, so you kind of have to see what is a plan license you buy, right? And all the warranties for all your assets, and all the software part. What's your planned licenses, and again, what is being currently used? There's always this, you need to go and manually check every time there is a manual task which happens there. The finance team is asked upon, so the IT team goes, juggles back. He asks the respective department head to find out that how many are actually using the specific licenses. So it's so mundane, and it's always manual thing happening there. So this is the actual the problem statement right now. Everything is happening manually. Can we automate that? Can an agent can jump in there and suggest and optimize for planning usage for that, so that the next year you kind of optimize for what is the actual licenses you need to go after, right? This also applies for inventory as well, right? Every asset inventory you buy, and suddenly you kind of have a sudden offload or onload of employees would coming in. The maybe the forecasting or an agent can come in and suggest you this is the set of assets you need to be prepared for. So this kind of helps you to the IT team to have a discussion with the finance team. So that's on the operations part of it, right? And let me quickly jump onto the efficiency side of it, right? So it's pretty straightforward. Everyone would have definitely seen it. It could be like as simple as you want a software installation, which I already mentioned, that you always need to rely on a very specific to an IT technician. So it's very natural, right? You take a laptop, you go to your IT person who is sitting in the corner, go and disturb him. What if the IT team is like sitting in remote? So you need to have a kind of self-serve approach. So can it there are certain things, for example, it could be a password reset or a software installation. Everything is pretty much a repetitive task, which is basically classified as L1 task. So can it be self-serve with an idea of an agent? So that's one on the self-service part. It could be as simple as getting the L1 support.
Yeah.
And yeah, and again, the knowledge management part for the employees, also for the IT teams, how quickly one can retrieve the information, to fix an issue or get an information to solve it ASAP on that. So right now, if you could see, there's already a knowledge base module which is there in SuperOps, right, which we released this year. So there is again a problem statement is, for example, can you creating a knowledge base is actually it's a time taking process. Sometimes some technicians might feel it still redundant, or sometimes they don't have the time. Is there an agent which you can keep the knowledge base updated, or maybe can you create it automatically? So these are the problem statements there to build around the knowledge management part.
Fun idea could be, the most common thing that happens in the workspace is like getting the Wi-Fi password. Somebody puts it on some Slack channel, but everybody is in search of Wi-Fi password and they don't get it when they need it the most. So one fun idea could be, there could be an agent that sits on the Slack that every time this sysadmin updates the Wi-Fi password, and it could answer and fill that information for them when they're looking for it in the portal, because that happens very frequently, right? So like,
Exactly,
if it
exactly.
just doesn't work when we want it to, so that could be one fun thing that you could pick up as well. And it's
Just a quick,
interesting.
sorry,
Yeah.
please go.
No, it's interesting you mentioned the whole warranty and subscription as well, because this happens very often in scenarios as well. Like, we really think that we need a certain software for our organization. Like, somebody from the marketing team feels that it's really cool for us to use a particular software, which only they like. And they, at the end of the day, if you look at the consumption, it's not as heavy as the organization would want it to be, but nobody knows we are paying for that forever. So
Exactly.
maybe something that could saying, hey, there's only 2 users that has logged into this particular application in the entire year. Maybe you want to reconsider buying this particular software next year. So that could be really interesting as well, because only when the finance team goes through the statements, they figure out a bunch of tools that has been redundant in their organization for a really long time. So those are really cool examples, Jen. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just to quickly jump on to close the loop around the knowledge management. So, for example, if you see there's an article, maybe it could be as simple as how to install MS Office or an Outlook or something. It's pretty straightforward, right? But the article would have been outdated. For example, Microsoft would have released a newer steps, and maybe the technician would not have updated the article as well. So now the article has become completely pale right now. It's stale right now. So there's no use of that article. What if there's a system, maybe in this case an agent, which can keep updating the knowledge base, always on update, keep it always updated, make it sure that it's always fresh, so that the self-serve happens seamlessly. So that's on the knowledge management part. And one interesting use case, if you could see the global IT teams, right? So right now, this is an interesting use case, the multi-language support. So if you see a lot of IT teams, or IT teams, or maybe serving across organizations which are present across multiple countries. So we have one IT team who is present across like close to maybe 4 to 5 countries, again in different continents as well. So they have multi-language. So if you see, there are even though there are language support inside, but there are certain things which is as simple as a knowledge base, or it could be a ticket. So you need to have that respective languages supported there. It could be a language translation there.
Yeah.
Maybe it could
When you
be
talk about language translation, like we can wrap it up with this one specific thing. Language translation could be that seems very easy, but it's not, because uh, so far with all the translation models that we've had, it doesn't reason. So one of the common instance that happened was one of the integration when the user was going through the manual. So he has to disable the integration. When translated to French, the disabled read as handicapped. So these are some of the incidents that could be avoided, because the translation doesn't happen with the context. With the AI agents, contextual translation and reasoning is something that could be really game changing as well. So
exactly.
that's an interesting area. So thank you so much, Jain, for sharing your ideas. I think we covered the entire spectrum of how an IT organization works and what the IT teams are. So up next, we are going to have Anirudh get started on the MSP side of things. So these are like whatever we've discussed so far. These are all in-house IT teams who's within the same organization, trying to figure out your problems and solution for the same. Think of MSPs as outsourced IT teams. Like an MSP sitting out of the US can work with multiple companies across the country managing their IT teams. So one MSP can take care of IT of the bunch of clients, a bunch of customers or businesses in their same region without being a part of their payroll. So, and like the basic primary difference is internal IT teams get paid from the parent company, whereas MSP do it as a business. So they do deliver an IT service for a company A, and in return they send them a bill and get paid for it. So that's the simplest way of putting out what an MSP is. But I'm going to have Anirudh share a bit more context as to who these MSPs are, what their challenges are, and Jayanth did drop a bunch of topics like asset management, patch management, and so on. So he's here to give us more context as to that. So hi, Ani.
Hey, thanks, Sriram, and hi, folks. Welcome to everyone who's on the call. All of us here at SuperUps, we're pretty excited that all of you guys are joining us to innovate on this particular hackathon, right? So excited for all of you guys to tune in and listen to what we have to say here and takeaways from this. Without further ado, let me dive into the RMM side of things, or as we call it, the asset management side of things. Sriram and Jayant have been talking about the IT MSP differences and so on. So when it comes to the MSP operations, right, there are two core activities that they do. One is service management, the other is management. And of course, the service happens for the assets. So if we have to split it at a high level, two core pieces: service management, wherein your tickets are there, your projects are there, your client management, your invoicing, all of that, that a key Akhilesh, my other product manager, will take you guys through in a bit. The other side is the asset management side of things, where the key outcome that the MSP is trying to solve is keeping all the assets, all the digital infrastructure up to date and up at an operational level, so that none of the end users have any issues on a particular laptop, workstation, server, anything that they are using does not face any issues. So therein comes the core asset management. And what do you mean by asset management, right? What we mean by asset management is maintaining the asset at an operational state with no issues as per the expectations of the end user. Now, what are all the aspects that we'll have to look into it? You guys know, all of us typically face these issues. I move into a new location of my employer, and then I face Wi-Fi issues, my network is slow, and so on and so forth. All these are asset issues that are faced. In order for me to deliver that clean asset experience, that ideal asset experience, there are 5 6 things that the MSP has to manage on a particular asset. And they are, say, patch management, that is ensuring that the asset is up and running and it is up to date as far as the OS updates are concerned. The operating system, your Windows, your Macs, your Linuxes of the world, these are the different OSs that Suprops also supports, on which we will, all of us will be innovating on for the hackathon, right? So on one side you have the OS, three flavors of OSs, where the updates have to be always applied ASAP, as soon as possible, because these updates, patches as we call them in the RMM world, these patches are nothing but vulnerabilities and bugs that are exposed to the external world for hackers to actually take advantage of. So the sooner a patch is released and the sooner it is applied to an asset and it is deployed, the safer the asset becomes. The more it is not patched, the more it is exposed, the vulnerability increases. So asset management is one critical job an MSP has to do, a technician has to do on a particular asset to maintain it, to manage it. Second comes software management, right? All of us have different softwares that we use depending on what team we are working on. Say, for example, someone on the design team might use, say, a Figma or a Balsamic. Someone on the product management side might use a different set of apps. The engineering, you guys have your own back and front end apps, all of that that you need to be installed on. So depending on which team the employee is in, keeping the laptop or workstation updated with all the required softwares for that particular employee, and also keeping it updated, right? Updates keep coming in, your update rollouts, your enhancements, your feature upgrades, all of these keep coming in. Also bugs are fixed in existing software, so there is a need to install and manage and keep it updated at all times on these assets. This is what we mean here by software management. Alert management is nothing but an alerting mechanism when the ideal state of an asset is actually disturbed. Say, for example, an asset always needs to have at least 500 MB of space available, or if the utilization of the CPU shouldn't cross 80% at any given point of time. These are certain ideal states of an asset. If this ideal state is disturbed and if the asset's operating levels go beyond these thresholds, then an alert is created. The technician has, it comes and falls as an alert slash ticket on a particular technician's work queue. The technician then goes and actually troubleshoots as to, ideally this device shouldn't be operating at such high levels of utilization. Why is it happening? Okay, some software is acting up. So they troubleshoot it, they find the root cause, bring it back to normalcy, and then let the user know that this has happened and now that there is no service disruption to the end user. So alerts are required for us to manage assets whenever these assets go out of compliance. SNMP, ICMP monitoring, nothing but your network monitoring. All of you guys, computer science and other engineering grads out here on the call, you guys must be familiar with SNMP, ICMP, the 7 layers of protocols and all of that. So this is nothing but network monitoring, where we're looking at your routers, your switches, your firewalls and printers and all of them, and how Suprops as a platform is enabling monitoring and management of these assets. Your digital infra is not just your laptops, your workstations and your servers, but these laptops have to connect to the internet, and that is going to be through your network devices. So we also manage network devices, and that is another key area that you guys can innovate on. How can we bring in AI in the network monitoring space? A lot of research and investment has gone into the network monitoring and management side from the greats of the world like the Cisco's and the Junipers. So a lot of content out there for you guys to actually research and dive into. Policy is nothing but putting all of this together to set up a template for a particular asset. So this is the template, this is the ideal state of an asset, and this is what Suprops as an RMM platform should be doing to ensure it maintains the asset at that particular level. So the MSP comes in, puts all of this together: patch management, software management, alert management, scripting. Scripting is nothing but your PowerShells to actually bring about a particular automation on that. So putting all of this together overall is the policy management piece of it, and this together forms the crux of the RM. So that at a high level, guys, I know it's a lot, but then do choose this, as this is the core heavy, the core operation side of an MSP's work on a day-to-day basis. A lot of these aspects can be researched upon. A lot of innovation can go into it, and probably I'll just get into a couple of ideas that is really close to my heart, where I would want to innovate if given a chance, right? So
Amazing. Thank you so much for that, Ani. Like Ani mentioned, so we all would have been wondering. So much goes into managing the assets that we do use on a regular basis. So RMM is where the bread and butter of an MSP is, and it's also the crux for the IT teams to operate on as well. So all these things, like SuperOps uses an agent that's installed on the asset to perform all of these actions together. And like Ani mentioned, so these research topics are out there. You can read a lot about it and build a lot of agents that work on top of it to improve it, because this is where the actual work happens. So I'm excited for Ani to share his ideas quickly and go through that.
just a couple of ideas at a high level, Sriram. So for example, IT operations, right? We talked about how we have to maintain an asset at an ideal state. What if this asset starts deviating from that ideal state, right? Alerts are thrown, and then the technicians have to manually look at these alerts. They have to go into the assets, troubleshoot what the issue is, and then they have to write scripts or remote into the asset manually. What I mean by remote into it is, all of us have experienced this, where your IT admin is actually taking control of your laptop sitting at some other place. So that is what we call in our world as remoting into the asset, a remote monitoring session, a remote management session into someone else's laptop remotely. So someone has to do this work, do it manually, troubleshoot, find the root cause, and then come up with a a solution as to, okay, this is what is wrong, this is what I have to do to get this asset back on the ideal state. What if we could innovate around this piece, right? Understand which particular aspect of an asset is actually deviating, has crossed the threshold, and what if we could innovate around, okay, if this is what has happened, this could be the root cause and this could be the solution. Can we innovate around that? That is one ask out there, right? The second piece is around alerts. Now, the flip side to having alerts is uh, noise. If you have configured 20 alerts on one particular laptop, imagine 200 employees working out of one city, say Delhi. Imagine 5 cities having 1,000 employees, and suddenly the number of alerts that come in are actually a lot, and then it becomes noise, and this becomes a channel that is ignored. And this is actually a real world use case out there, where MSPs almost ignore alerting as a channel because of the noise that is present. If we could innovate around how do we qualify these alerts as which is actuals, which is noise, so that you could segregate and just bring on top, boil up the critical pieces. This is something that I would love for someone to innovate around. The other theme being the service efficiency improvement piece. Root cause assistant, root cause analysis, this is something that a lot of the current competitors out there, as well as a lot of the legacy players in the market, go after, as in, okay, something's gone wrong in an asset, can AI find out what the root cause is? So that is a core legacy area that AI can still look into. The other one is, say, automatically writing maintenance scripts. That is, every month once, how can we clean up a particular laptop? What are all the aspects that are required? Can we dynamically look at those levels and customize those scripts? Can we innovate around that piece? So these are some broader aspects, broader ideas I thought I could bring to the table for you guys to innovate around. But then the whole world of asset management is open, guys. A lot of these could be looked into and innovated upon.
Thank you so much, Ani, for that, because these are really great, right? The main thing with the alerts is there are too many. So, figuring out the most relevant alert in itself is something that people are still wanting to do, because, hey, I'm trying to be proactive here, but maybe I'm trying too much. So, that's a thing that a lot of folks can innovate and work on. So those are some of the really great ideas that we've seen. So like you said, there's so much to it. So this is just the bread and this is the bread and butter of the MSPs. So now I'm going to quickly put on Akhilesh, who's going to say how MSPs are trying to make money out of it. So these are all the things that he does in the RMM side as an MSP. So I'm going to quickly have Akhilesh just walk you through as to how MSP is going to take all of this, streamline this, document this, and make money out of it, and share his ideas as well. So, over to you, Akhilesh.
Sure. Thanks, Sriram. And in the interest of time, I'll directly jump into it. And like you can see, there are two parts to the product. One is we call the PSA, Professional Services Automation, which is what I'm going to talk about, while Ani spoke about remote monitoring and management, which is the core of IT infrastructure management. So as an outsourced IT team, the MSPs do all of this work using RMM. Now, on compared to an internal IT team, an MSP also has a business to run. It's not like, let's say, a cost center, and it's just not a part of a business, but they manage multiple businesses and they have their own business to run while they are managing IT infrastructure for so many of their clients. So that's why we have a client management module where I list all my clients. What is the kind of contract I have established with this client? So any details related to a client is stored under client management. You can see it as, let's say, a version of a CRM. And here we even have information on contracts. What do I mean by contracts is, let's say, if I'm taking care of IT for, let's say, client A, how much am I charging them based on per endpoint, let's say per device. If I'm charging per device, what's included in those services, etc. So I can have all of these details stored versus client B, where I don't have a contract. As and when they raise an issue, maybe I can just go ahead and charge them. So these are all the kind of, let's say, what kind of, let's say, relationship do I have in delivering these services with clients is what client management is used for. But then after you have this, yes, of course, I have a remote monitoring and management solution. I have established a contract with a client saying I'm going to provide these services. Then you need to have your clients reach out to you when they have problems. That's why we have ticketing. Ticketing is basically not having all these conversations via email, but rather your RMM can throw in a lot of problems, proactively finding issues like Ani mentioned, or your clients can reach saying, hey, my laptop's not working, I'm not able to access my email, etc. So whenever they reach out to you, how can I manage all these queries in a very, let's say, efficient manner is where we use ticketing. And of course, all these are services industry, right? Managed service provider. They are actually creating a contract and establishing a service and providing those service. That's why they are very diligent about time tracking as well. So let's say a ticket comes in saying laptop is not working. The ticket automatically checks who's the client. Now, what contract is there? Now, perfect. This contract covers laptop issues. Now an agent can work on the ticket and they'll track time saying to fix this laptop issue, I took 1 hour or so. Now that's like the whole flow, but sometimes they also take up large project, which is not strictly under a contract or an ongoing basis. But let's say a client wants to set up a new office, that will be a project. So that's why it's project management, which is very straightforward like any other project management solution. But apart from that, let's say somebody has to go on site for this issue because I'm not able to fix. We have an inbuilt scheduling and a calendar module. That's what you see on the screen. But now I can work across tickets, projects, schedules that go on site and track time for all of this. Now, the whole point of, let's say, going ahead and tracking time for all of this is you have to make money out of this based on your contract you have established. That's why we have automated billing in place. So essentially, after doing all this work, I go ahead and charge every client saying, hey, based on the contract we have, all these work is not chargeable because the contract covers it, but all these work is chargeable because this is an additional work that we did. And while I do all of this, I'm still, like I said, I have to run a business. That's why we have insightful reporting for me to take decisions for growth. Which client should I, let's say, go ahead and have a renegotiation about my contracts because they're bleeding me dry? Or what kind of clients should I, let's say, hire more of to my business? What kind of clients should I let go of because they are not really useful for the business? How do I make all these decisions is using insightful reporting. So pretty much if you see the stack is remote monitoring and management is the core of managing your IT infrastructure, and your PSA, like everything that I mentioned, helps you manage your client, their business, and also your business and take decisions for growth. So that's like why both these worlds come together for an MSP, so that in one single space, they're able to take care of IT problems and run their business. So this is the PSA space as such, and what you could do from an let's say a couple of idea standpoint, what you could do is one of the things is you can improve MSP operational efficiency. And why operational efficiency is important is, like I said, they track time, and that's very important. And one of the biggest cost for a managed services business is actually time, because their resources is the biggest cost for them. So the more efficient you are going to make, the more profitable they are going to become. So that is why some ideas are, let's say, pricing and packaging optimizer based on the contracts or the invoices that is constantly going, let's say, to their clients. We can have an AA agent analyze all this and maybe suggest with better bundles and packages, saying that, hey, maybe you should price these at this kind of a cost, at this kind of a bundle. You will tend to make more money rather than just sell it ad hoc now and then, because these are all the patterns I see. So that's something that I would be able to do. SLA guard is nothing but, let's say I'm having a lot of tickets. How can I go ahead and ensure that a service desk manager or a technician working on so many tickets doesn't lose out on what's next? So an agent can always suggest, saying that these are all the next 5 tickets based on, let's say, service level agreements that is applied on the ticket that you have to look into. They can always go through, let's say, asking this agent, what's next, what's next, and they can go through that as well. And the agent can pick up smartly based on priority and whatever needs the immediate resolution and what's important. They can take these tickets as well. And upsell opportunities, you can even analyze all the invoices that are being sent for clients and say that, looks like you're actually spending, you have fixed a printer for this client multiple times, in charge based on that. Maybe would you want to go ahead and upgrade their whole printing system itself? That's an upsell opportunity that an agent can find. Or even timesheet analyzer, right? Like you have so many technicians putting in time for various types of issues, projects, tasks that they do. Maybe you can give an analysis of, hey, this much time has been spent for this kind of tasks. Maybe if you automate these basic tasks, you will save some time. So how can you analyze the timesheets to give those insights? Could be a couple of ideas. And for improving the service efficiency itself, because why specifically service is a separate topic is because service is where, like, service desk, where the ticketing happens. So one of the things you can ensure is ticket quality checker, where you would be able to go ahead and automatically analyze the quality of tickets and spot out the best handled tickets versus the tickets that are not so handled well, score them using some AI agent, let's say AI algorithms, etc., so that the service desk manager gets a report saying, these are all your best tickets. Take them as an example to show to other technicians. These are all your tickets that needs improvement, so they can train technicians. So these are all some ideas that you could think of, and few other themes that we have also. Shreya, if you go to the next slide, yeah, on growth. And like I said, this is not just about managing service efficiency, right? It's also about taking decisions for growth, running your business. You can even build an AI CFO. It's an agent which monitors all invoicing, cash flow patterns, and flag some anomalies and improvements based on that. It need not be strictly on top of SuperOps only. It can be even top of bookkeeping solutions like QuickBooks, etc. But still, it's useful for an MSP. Right? And even monitoring all the invoices for hurting cash flow, delays, disputes, aging, like what is hurting this business's cash flow or not. Just go through their invoices and payment patterns and delays and everything. You will be able to generate all of this. So building an AI CFO is a great agent idea. And some things under open innovation is client sentiment minor. Like, for example, based on all the interactions that they are having with the client, which client is really happy with them, which client is not so happy with them, or even designing bundles for different services that they could offer in the future, where going through all the tickets that's coming in, you can say, for this client, looks like these kind of issues are coming in. Maybe do you want to create a cybersecurity bundle and sell to them, right? So these are all something that you would be able to find out through patterns under ticketing, invoicing, all that's there in the PSA itself. So that's a quick wrap up of what you could do on top of PSA and all the modules over there. Over to Sriram to wrap the session out.
Thank you so much, Akhilesh. I think we've covered the full spectrum, and like Akhilesh pointed out, there are a bunch of really good ideas. One of the things that I really loved was the whole pricing and package optimizer. So let's say your clients are sending out tickets very frequently about a particular issue. Maybe it's not the issue that you need to solve. You can probably, they're raising more of a printer issues in the last 2 months. So maybe you can pitch in and say, hey, I think your printer is outdated. Maybe I can pitch in and provide you with the printer services from my side, so that you don't raise as many tickets as you are raising today. So those are some of the pretty great ideas that we've seen. I think we've given you a good overview of all the problems and the themes that you can potentially solve for. And like what we would suggest as the next step is, So we would like for you to go to the agentic AI community and start engaging. So based on the different themes under which you have picked the AI agent that you're building, you're going to have mentors. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask from the like that you like to be addressed from the super ops team or from your mentors, you can engage there. So all the resources, I think somebody on the chat also mentioned about where can I understand more about MSPs and super ops. So you can go to the community, and you have a lot of resources around AI and how it's impacting the MSP and the IT teams over there. So you can start engaging with it, and if you need any more context on the same, you can always reach out to us on the agentic AI community, and there'll be somebody to assist you with it. So that is something that we would be able to help you with. And with respect to all the questions on the chat as well, so our team or the hack to skill team would try to answer those questions over the chat responses. So as we streaming this on YouTube, so keep an eye out for the questions that you have asked, and we would be answering them so that you have that available there as well. So thank you everyone. I hope the session was really productive and helped you give paint a picture on what an MSP's uh, world or an IT team's world looks like. So like I said, the two key takeaways is start building based on these ideas. So we are going to share these slide decks with you as well on the potential ideas. So we all the themes and the ideas that was presented here is going to be available on the agentic AI community. So any questions with respect to that, anything that you want to engage with your teammates, you can start doing that here in the agentic AI community. And all the best. Looking forward to a lot more AI agents that are being built. So over to you, Rudra. Thank you so much for it.
Great. That was one of a session. That's wonderful, commendable work by you, Sriram, and all of our speakers, Akhilesh, Jayant, and Anirudh. That was great. So let's just quickly address a little bit of the comments that we have got. So there's one comment from RS. He speaks like, since AWS is the sponsor of the event, how much integration of AWS is expected? Like, are we bound to use the example SES or sending emails, etc.? Is there any architecture style expected serverless? Let me just address this quickly. Well, AWS services are not mandatory, but using them meaningfully will be adding more value to your project, whatever you are preparing on your end. So, anything you would like to add more, Sriram, on this?
Not specifically, Rudra. So
Great.
yes.
Great. All right. So moving on quickly with the next comment, we have Pavan Kalyan. He speaks. Can we show the plan for the next subscription based on the current Slack usage, so that user can take the best possible solution for his next year ahead? If
That
you are,
could be a
yeah.
that could be a potential idea as well, depending on the usage. But I think Slack is something that every user uses. But maybe depending on the levels that you want, you can figure out a problem statement for an IT teams, so as to saying, hey, you are on this particular plan of Slack. Maybe you don't need this, or maybe there are a lot of users looking for a particular feature, and your Slack subscription needs an upgrade. So that could be a potential idea as well.
All right, cool. I think that answers the question. So next we have Tetsu Walter. He speaks, hi, I would like to ask if there is any slide we can download to understand more about MSVs and super ops. All right. So well, this session was basically on that, and if this helps, we'll share with you the super ops agent AI community link so that you guys can join it over there and discuss as much as you can on based on whatever the questions you might have on MSVs. I guess that will work.
Yes, exactly. So this entire session was made for all the hackathon participants to get an overview of what an MSP is, or what an IT team is, what are different challenges that they're solving for. So this could be your primary go-to resource that you're referring to. And if you need anything additional, you're going to have your agentic AI community where there are a lot more resources that you can access. And if there's anything that specific that you need, you can call that out on the forum, and somebody would be available to help you out as well.
Okay, cool. Wonderful. Moving on to our next comment. Mamuraka Raisivi asks, is the hackathon for Indians only? Well, let me just address this. This is a global agentic AI hackathon. So anyone in this world or this globe can participate in this hackathon and come up with various solutions based on the MSVs and IT teams. So it's not restricted to Indians or any part of this world. It's just for everyone over there. So check out our Hack to Skill web page. The hackathon is listed over there. Can register from the dashboard and bring your solutions up there. I believe that's it. All right. Do you have any more comments? As so far, I can't see any more. All right. Great. So we have one comment left. We have from Ashish Soni. How can I make product manager? What is the roadmap? And I am learning AI agents and automation. How we can help myself. All right. I mean, how can I make a product manager? If you guys help me on this, Sriram.
I think he's just referring to what sort of roadmap. Again, this is based on my assumption. So I think product managers were on call today. If you're looking at the roadmap as to what SuperOps is presenting, so Ani, Akhilesh, and Jayant shared a bunch of ideas as to what they are doing, or like what they think is the potential ideas that you could influence. So I think those were some of the ideas that seeded from the roadmap. And if you want to see what SuperOps' roadmap looks like, you can visit our website for that information as well, so that you get a better understanding of what AI agents that you can potentially build. I hope that answers your question. And if not, you can, like I said, you have multiple ways to reach out to us, and we're more than happy to help.
I mean, yes, it's if it's a career-related question, then you need to work harder, and then you guys can go to a product manager level and surely work onto a company for that as well.
Yeah, you can
So,
visit the Hack to Skills careers page. If
yeah, surely, of course, that's potentially one. All right, so I believe we are done for the day, and we don't have any more comments. So great, that was a wonderful session. Thank you, Sriram. Thank you for hosting this session. It was commendable on your part, and thank you to all our speakers for sharing us all their experience. It was great, and I believe the participants must have learned a lot, and this will help them for coming up with more solutions in the SuperHack 2025. So with that, I would like to conclude the session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, and see you next time. Thank you, Sriram.
Thank you, Rudra.